How to spice up your Slap Chop Orktober edition. This video is a fun orcish display on how to spice up your Slap Chop. We'll start off with this wee guy, the cartoon chop. Starting with a pale grey primer, then coat it with a shade of null oil mixed with a bit of express medium. Just coat the entire model. This will allow the null oil to follow the recessed lines. This skips the step of having to start from black and work your way up to a bright white. Dry brush of bright white. Now see how much quicker it is doing it this way, for that big punchy bright cartoon look. Pick your favourite filter colours. I use express paints in this, giving the skin some green and then moving around the model. I've chosen this orange for the orc armour, just a generous coat all over, from shield, pauldrons, kneecaps, anywhere that's metallic on this guy. It's important to allow each layer to dry before moving on. To help with that cartoony look, I am going to hit all the recesses again with null oil. This will help give it that panel lining that you see in a lot of comics and cartoons. Using ice yellow, I dry brush over everything that's been painted. Just remember not to overcoat too much. This is just a highlight dry brush. When you reapply the express paint, you'll see how much more punchy the colour is. This style of double chop is very effective to making that bright cartoony look. Try not to swamp the detail. And here you have him, a nice pumpkin orange, cartoonish orc. Metal chop. This guy looks metal, so let's give him a metal chop. Starting off from a black primer. For the dry brushing, I'm using a dark silver and then over highlight with a light silver. I'm hitting everything that I want to be metallic, so I will avoid the material and his skin. It doesn't matter if you don't hit the deepest recesses, because the black undercoat will help with the shading. For the materials in his skin, I'm going for a browny tone, just a mixture of cork and then build up to pale sand. This will help with adding a bit of variation to the tones. And then I'll give the material a quick wash of Agrax Earthshade. that dry, it's time to apply some paints. Here I'm starting with the skin, give him a good blast of green. Then the brown trousers. Here I'm using Citadel's contrast paint red. Couldn't find an express paint version of it at the time, so this will do. It's a very, very, very thick red colouring. Just apply it all over the model where you want the red metallic to shine through. To add variety to the metallics that don't get any slap chop, I'm just going to apply a quick wash of nun oil. Then doubling up with that silver again, but this time just focusing on the higher areas. Just be mindful trying not to catch any of the material or anything that you don't want to be metallic. Now when you reapply your contrast paint, you'll see how much more variation you get. Just to finish her off with that nun oil again for any of the areas that have been affected by the extra dry brushing. With that dry, we have another finished orc. Sponge chop. I do enjoy using a sponge every so often to apply some paint, but why not do it for slap chop? Starting off with a grey on a black prime, build up that sponged colour. For the more difficult areas, just pick a smaller sponge and fold it up and just give it a wee dab. Then dab on the brightest of greys, aiming for the higher end, just to sell the effect. Now I'm applying my express paint with the sponge. It doesn't act the same way. It's more of a filter when you do it this way. This is a technique that you can use elsewhere. As you can see, there is no dramatic contrast this time around, but it is worth continuing with this just to find new techniques that you can use elsewhere in your projects. Then a quick highlight dabbing of some grey over the top, ready for another blast of sponged on contrast. Due to how flat this sponge look comes out, I will just add a few edge highlights just to pick out and redefine some of the shapes of this model. And here you go. Sponge Chop Ork. Ethereal Chop. This is something I've been working on for a wee while. The nature of this is to pre-shade the model before starting the dry brushing. From my black prime, I'll add some contrast or express paint all over the model. This will seep into the recesses and create a unique starting point for the slap chop. Mixing multiple colours into each other, allowing them to blend, also helps. Here for the dry brushing, I'm starting off with a deep sea blue. This will give a different tone to the overall colour contrast of the express paints. I'm adding some lighter tones into this. This is a ghost green. Using a colour base for your slap chop is a neat way of getting a different effect. I'll start off with this purple express paint and just coat all the areas that I want to be metallic. The goal for this one is to have a blue tone. So I'll start using purple as an undercoat. Then back over with that ghost green. I'm trying to hit this model like a traditional dry brush, tempted to only catch the highlights and the corners and the edges. Don't want to do a full overbrush with this. When you reapply the express paints, you'll see it catching all the raised edges beautifully. The purple undertone helps the darkness in the shaded areas. Due to the translucent nature of these paints, everything you put on before using them will come through. It gives it that ethereal look. And I believe this is actually my favourite look to these slap chop models. I'm excited to try and mix it with the others on other projects. Quick roundup. This was a fun wee project just to get some colours on the models. I hope you find it interesting and you can use some of these yourself. If you do, drop us a message and let us know. It'd mean the world to me if you subscribe and like this video. Until the next video, thanks for watching and take care.